So the other day, I got a chance to work out with one of my friends. His name's Brendan. He's a coworker of mine, awesome guy. We've had these great conversations about diet and exercise and health and fitness over the last few months at work. And we've been trying to work out like together for a while now. He used to play football in college and kept a lot of the muscle. Like he is stacked. He is absolutely stacked. So I'm trying to get stacked. I'm trying to build as much muscle as possible by the time I turn 40. So it's more about maintaining and that way I'm active and able to hang out and be active with my kids and future family and things like that. But I've talked with Brendan about it. And so I'm like, I know I can learn from this guy and I know I can get pushed in the right direction at the gym. So I was super excited to work out with him. We were going to do chest and biceps, and right off the bat, I know it's going to go poorly for me because he's like, all right, let's do a warm up. Let's run a mile. And he just starts running a mile on a treadmill. I'm like, I don't really run. I do the elliptical. I do Stairmaster. I'm trying to like build the muscles in my low back and build my body back up to where I can, but all right, let's do it. So I ran as much as I could. I was proud. I made it a half a mile, and then I kind of jogged the rest of the way. But I was right off the bat. That set the tone. I mean, he's going to absolutely push me to work. And so we go to the bench press. I haven't bench pressed actually with the bar. I do a lot of like dumbbell presses, but I haven't bench pressed with the bar in quite a while. And the way it works is the bar is 45 pounds and then the plates, the big plates, are 45 pounds. So one plate on each side plus the bar is 135. That is something that I know I can do. So we do the warm up with the bar and then we put one plate on each side. It's 135. And he's like, okay, we're going to do 10 reps plus one. I'm like, okay. So 10 reps and I do plus one. I can hit it. Like I could do that. It was hard, but I could do 135. I was like, okay, this is cool. I think I'm okay. So he sets up and he does like 10 reps plus one so quick with 135. It was like it was nothing. I was like, oh, okay, this is how it's gonna go. So then he gets done with his set and he goes to like put another plate on. And honestly, I'm not confident in lifting more than 135 just based on how I was struggling. I wanted to keep controlled reps. So I'm like, no, I'll do 135. He's like, all right, bro, no worries. He's still hyping me up. So I do my next set with 135, controlled reps again. I make it the 10 plus one. He's like, strong set. I was like, okay, he's hyping me up. But then as soon as I get done, he puts another plate on each side, which is 225 pounds. And again, he drops down, boom, 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 just throws it out. And I'm like, that's like 225 is my goal to eventually be able to lift at some point in my life. Like I would like to be able to bench 225 in my life. And here he's just throwing it up. I'm like, okay. But Brendan's awesome. So Brendan just gets up, starts taking the plate off back down to 135 so I can lift. And I'm like, appreciate it. Like, this is cool. He's not trying to like, you got to do this, you got to do that. He's just trying to help me. Hey, you got good form. Like, let's go. And again, I hit my reps, strong set, good set. I'm like, thank you. This is awesome. And he's hyping me up the whole time. And then he puts on 3 plates on each side for himself, which is 315 pounds. Like, I can't even imagine putting up 315 pounds on bench press. And I just looked at him and I just kind of laughed. And I think my jaw hit the floor, but I was like, I'm just going to ask this out of courtesy, but do you need a spot? And he was like, not this one, but the next set, I probably will. And I'm sitting here like, okay. So now he's dropping down to like a 5 set plus one. So he's doing 5 reps plus one. So he's doing 6 reps. And he throws that up as well. And I'm just like, this is wild. So I'm already like talking to him like, I can't even imagine putting that up. Again, he's super kind. He just takes the weight off, sets it back to 135. He's hyping me up the whole time. And now I can't even do 10 reps. So I'm doing like 6 reps plus one maybe. With the 135, and again, he's so good form, way to go, putting in the work, and then he puts 10 pounds on each side plus the 3 plates on each side. So he's at 335 pounds that he is benching. And I help him get it off the rack and spot him a little bit. And he throws it up like 3 or 4 reps, maybe 5. But it's just impressive. And I just look at him and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, dude, that is so much weight. Like, that is incredible. Like, I can't even imagine that. And he said something to me, and this is where I'm going with this podcast. He said, it's not about the weight. It's about the work. And it right in that moment brought me back into reality, where it started permeating in my mind over the last 24, 48 hours, where it's just like, it's not about the weight. It's about the work. And I want to let this hit home for you is so many of us, including myself, what we do is we make these goals where it's about the weight. And goals are great. Goals, everybody should have goals, but they should be realistic goals. My realistic goal is if I want to lift 225 pounds, I need to continue to bench press more, which I'm going to. I'm excited about that. If I want to run a mile for my warm up, I need to run more. So I'm going to. But that doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight, and it doesn't mean it's going to happen in the next few weeks. Brendan's been lifting weights for years, for his whole life, basically, playing football. So he has so much more knowledge and then consistency and also just growth that he's put in over the years that I haven't. I haven't been doing that. I didn't play college ball either. I didn't work out. When he was in the gym, I was chilling and probably getting a drink or whatever. Like, he has put in the work, and he just reminded me, it's not about the weight, it's about the work. And we do this all the time, where we will create these goals. We'll say, this is my 5-year plan. I want to own this house, or I want to do this, or I want to have this car, or I want to have this job. But are we putting in the work that it takes to build that life? Whether it's to build muscle, if we want to lift a certain amount of weight like myself, or if it's a monetary fund, an ability. Are we building our bank accounts to be able to afford the house that we want, the life that we want, the job that we want? Are we building our careers to afford the life that we want, the house that we want, our bank accounts? Like, are we putting in the work? And when we make it about the weight, then it's always just this thing that's out there. And sometimes it can be really dangerous to even get that. Because if I put 315 pounds on the bar right now and then tried to lift it, I'm dying. I'm going to die. Like, there's just there's no way I'm going to lift it. I need to make sure that I build the muscle around my body so that I can handle it, so that eventually I can do 225. We do what we can. We do what we should. And we push ourselves further. That's why Brendan was encouraging me with the 135, like, good, strong set. Like, I made sure that I was trying to keep my form good and really controlling the weight, not just throwing it around. In my last reps, I put a wide grip to try to kind of change the dynamic a little bit, make sure that I'm hitting everything that I can. And he was hyping me up with that. But it's a reminder that it's not about the weight. And I think that we need to be reminded more than we need to be taught, because it only becomes about the weight when we focus on it more than we focus on the work. And when we focus on the weight more than we focus on the process. It's kind of like when Peter is walking on water. I think we need to be reminded that it's our actions, not our circumstances, that dictate our view of our surrounding environment, or our view of what we want our world to look like. And it's a great reminder. And I'm very thankful to have friends like Brendan in my life who will be that reminder and say, hey, it's not about the weight. It's about the work. Because I don't want to try to lift that weight tomorrow. I don't want to try to lift that weight even this year. But I do want to put in the work this year. I want to put in the work tomorrow with the mentality of, do what I can right now and push myself and make it about the work. So eventually, just one day down the road, I'm going to be working out and I'm going to have 2 plates on each side. And I'm going to say, hey, this is 225. I'm just lifting it. because it'll exponentially grow where I'm going to go from 135 to 145, 155, etc. And as long as I put it into practice and make it about the work, then it's inevitable. I will eventually get there. I just have to make it about the work, not about, oh, it's taking so long. It may take me a couple years to get to 225. It may take me, I may never get to 315, I'm going to be honest, but it may take me, a decade to get to 315. I would love to be able to put up 315 someday. But it means that I have to make it about the work. And when we talk about the weight as well, just as a little caveat to that, I think a lot of us walk around with the weight of the world on our shoulders. We try to pretend like we're like a mythological person like Atlas holding the weight of the world, where we want to do all these things. So we say yes, we say yes, we say yes. And I could have easily said yes to Brendan to put those plates on and tried to do 225. But I can promise you, based on how much I struggled with 135, if I had tried to do 225, I might have hurt myself. And I definitely would have humiliated myself. I'm not really worried about being humiliated, but I definitely would have humiliated myself. And it's one of those things where I think we do that in life, where we try to carry more than we should. So we say yes to things and we carry the weight of the world, but not because, this isn't too bad, I can do it. What we end up doing is we take the barbell, we're like, oh, it's 45 pounds. I got it. It's light. It's nothing. But then we put 10 pounds on each side. And then we put 10 pounds on each side. And we grab all these little things, like tiny things, but we add it up. So at the end of it, we've got 10 10-pound weights here, 10 10-pound weights here, which is 200 pounds on the bar. So 245 pounds. And we're like, man, the bar used to weigh so much lighter and I can't even lift this now. But it's just a bunch of little weights all across the bar. It's like doing laundry. And if you've ever done laundry and you're like me, like we celebrate, we do a laundry dance whenever I get all of the laundry out of the dryer and carry it to the bed to fold and I don't drop any socks. Because there's so many like socks and they're little and they just kind of flop out 9 times out of 10. As I'm walking to the bed, it's like socks there, like underwear falls out sometimes. Like it just happens when you're doing laundry like that. I think that sometimes we need to be reminded that we can't carry it all. We don't have to carry it all. It's like some people have this mentality of most dudes carrying grocery bags in, where they say, I'm going to find a way to carry every single one of these bags in all at once in one trip, even if I have to stumble my way through the door. And I don't think that that's the best way to go through life, because what happens is we end up going through life stumbling, carrying all the bags, and we're never putting them down. We're always picking some other bag up, and we just stumble and stumble and stumble and stumble. And we have to learn how to say, no, I can't lift that. I'm going to take 2 trips. I'm going to do what I can right now in order to be able to do more later, right? I'm going to make 2 trips in carrying these groceries in. I'm going to do 135 pounds right now so that I can build muscle to be able to do 145 next time or 145 next month. And maybe you need this reminder that it's not about the weight, it's about the work. Or maybe you need to stop straining and trying to carry every grocery bag in at the same time. Maybe you need to let go of some things that are in your life, because right now you're just stumbling through the door and stumbling through life because you're holding on to way too many grocery bags. You've got 12 on this arm and 12 on this arm, and you've got one around your leg, and you're trying to hold one with your elbow, and you've got your phone up to your ear. Like, you need to let go. You need to let go. It's not about the weight. It's great. You can carry all of those for a few steps, but as soon as you start walking, you can't move through life carrying all those grocery bags. So I'll leave you with this. John 16:33 is a verse that I think is really impactful to me. These are the words of Jesus. He said, I've told you all this stuff so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. This is a point where Jesus has basically just told his disciples that it's going to go really poorly for a little while, but have peace. You're going to have trouble, but have peace. I've overcome the world. You don't have to carry the weight of the world all on your shoulders. I've already done that. So I hope that you'll be encouraged. I hope that you'll have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope that all of you remember to give grace, show love, and as always, stay stellar. Peace.